Master Clive, a moment, if you... my apologies, I didn't mean to... intrude.
Not at all. We were just discussing strategy.
If you turn
Otto.
low latency
Martha,
mode
from
off,
the inn.
it should get rid of
She's
that
gone
distortion.
Anyway, I'll be in the mess when you've finished.
Very well.
Yeah, try knocking maybe or something. We could have been fucking right there on the desk. Who knows?
What would make Martha leave the rest?
Okay, so they do, if you just follow the main story, they do jump right into some of the things that I was complaining about yesterday. They literally address them immediately after the fact, so my bad there. It still does feel a little weird for Clive to he always only knows parts of situations, which I guess is kind of how it goes. Until you, I don't know, it's just
If something has happened to Martha...
There's always that one little
We
thing
need to
out of
speak
his
with
reach
Otto.
of what he doesn't know. It's good to know. But now he knows Joshua's alive, so that's good. I'm not sure why we were told more info about Joshua and Ultima with the in-game tools than what Clive knows though. Yeah, same, Axel. But I guess that's the same thing that happens with Annabella. The same thing. We know what Annabella's been doing, which is why we're like, why doesn't Clive do something about it? But Clive does not fully understand what Annabella has done. You know? Yeah, we as the player definitely know more than the characters. I think the lore entries have some illusions within them, honestly, for the player. I think that's the reason why they're there. I think that stuff is there to basically give you as the player the opportunity to go, well, I have more extensive knowledge than Clive does by default because I see every scene in this game that Clive doesn't. And so it gives you the opportunity to be like, oh, well, wait a second. You know, when they're talking about the mural being maybe some ancient religion, you know, like long lost religion. That's not something that Clive knows, to be true, but it's in there, you know? I think it's the inconsistent perspective that's a little jarring, especially if you read the lore entries. I think that I definitely see where that comes from. Because if you do read all the lore entries, yeah, I would agree. We know more than the characters pretty normally. But I guess what I mean is just... Clive seems to be in a perpetual state of missing a really key piece of information. In this case, it's that Joshua absorbed Ultima into his heart. That's a really key piece of information that, of course, Clive sees, oh, Joshua's alive, and yeah, that's great. But in the same moment, another thing occurs that, once again, Clive does not know, even though he was right there because he passed out. So it's just there's something about that just irks me. It just sits on the edge of my thought, why do they do that? I mean, at this point, I don't think he knows much about Ultima in general at all. I know. I get that. That's not relevant. Doesn't really matter.
What do we know, Otto?
Some lads from the Imperial garrison in Rosaria started a fire.
Seeing your brother absorb the thing of darkness is important.
Spilled. Bones were broken.
Perpetual state of missing pieces of key information. Caredwin again. I don't think that Clive fully understands what Annabella has done. So yeah, I don't think that he really...
Without a word to anyone. And that ain't like her, Clive. Something's not right.
You think this was planned?
Of course it bloody was. Ever since Eastpool, the Empire's been tightening its grip round the Duchy's balls. They've strung up everyone who's ever set eyes on a runaway, claiming they're traitors to the Holy Throne conspiring to restore the House of Rosfield to power. And now it sounds like the bastards have turned their attentions to the pallbearers meek enough to stay put.
This is kind of to that
Naturally,
point.
old Martha could see the way the wind was blowing, complained that it was getting harder and harder to take bearers in.
And now she's missing. If she's fallen into the hands of the Empire, we could be next.
Couple of curse breakers are already on their way to the inn. They should help speed up the search. But if this is as bad as I think it is, you might end up having to save their asses and all.
Don't worry, Otto. I'll make sure everyone gets home safe.
Guys, this isn't even like a discussion to be had and shit. Like, it's not even like a debate. I think everyone in chat knows that the player very often knows more than the main character. I don't think anyone's arguing that. It's very normal. But I don't think that that makes any difference on whether or not it is frustrating from the player's perspective for the character to continue to miss key pieces of information. Just because it's normal for us to know more doesn't mean that it's not annoying for Clive to not know things that are like seemingly very important and could be used nicely in the narrative of the game. And it just seems weird, that's all. This game has a lot of thing happens and then it's kind of a while until it's explained and Clive figures out. Like we know that the crystals are apparently, you know, sapping life from the land. We've known that for a long time. Still don't know why. Still not really exactly sure how Sid came to that conclusion. Like, really not sure to what extent he is correct. If we got rid of the crystal in Oriflamme, did the blight around there cease to spread as much? Is there any evidence that what we have done has helped anything? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is a lot of things that are missing there. And I hope that they tell me those things, because those seem very important, seem relevant. We dismantled an entire holy city by destroying their mother crystal, and we haven't really talked about whether or not that was worth doing or not.
Here for another of my lectures?
Sure.
How may I help you today? I have the details here.
I don't know what you added. It's in here?
One must understand one's place in the world.
Oh, we're going to Martha's Rest in the Imperial Province.
The state of the realm is ever-changing, Clive.
What's up, Joe?
Martha is a survivor. We'll find her.
They do that a lot, I've noticed. They do that a lot in 14.2, which causes players to bridge that gap and often forget the player knowledge and character knowledge is so vast and separate, it's not even funny. I don't think that the character and player knowledge in FF14 is... I mean, maybe this is... I don't know. I don't think that it's that drastically different. I think most of the things that the player character involves themselves in are things that are figured out and helped to fruition by other actual characters. I think it's annoying because there's been so much exposition. It's frustrating that we as the player know so much that when our character is flying blind. What they don't mention is that they all left Oriflamme because they no longer had a nightlight. No one could see in the dark anymore. I have been told, though, that narratively, this is probably the lowest point for the game, was this transition, this 5-year skip into this segment, and that it pretty much gets better from here. That's what I'm told.
Rosaria's not so kind to travelers these days. If you're bound for the rest, make sure you keep your wits sharp and your steel sharper.
Time skips are wacky and hard to do right. They are hard to do. And that's why it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't do them. One thing I think they lean on hard but don't do a good job of actually supporting with the narrative is that Ramu imparts his dominant with a wisdom beyond men, which I guess it's supposed to explain how he knew something about Ultima and that he knew the true nature of the crystals. It's tenuous at this point. That's kind of what I keep relating it back to in my head is like, it's because Ramu, it's because Ramu. And he had mentioned it, but it hasn't been used as an explanation for how the things occurred. It is a plausible explanation, but has it been used as the reason? No. And so I think that's kind of interesting. I think every time we learn something in ATL that we didn't learn in the actual game that is directly relevant to the plot, it's a failure in the storytelling. ATL should be a reference and recap, not a source of new information. I agree with you to a point.
That log so we can call it a morning.
Welcome back, Sid.
Yeah, because, I mean, and that is a little bit more what I thought it would be. Also, this is probably a mistake of mine, but I do feel like going off the beaten path in this game is a little bit of a waste of your time in a sense. I feel like I have found very few to no upgrades or things that are truly useful to me off the beaten path, pretty much at all. Which is disappointing because really off the beaten path, powerful weapons and gear and stuff is part of Final Fantasy. And I feel like I haven't really experienced that yet. Those things do exist, but they're way too rare. I don't really go off the beaten path because I know I'm going to go there for a side quest sooner or later. For what it's worth, it's a conclusion I came to very early on. I mean, like, this whole area. Like, you don't explore this entire area just for side quests. Like, there's some areas that you definitely have to, like, kind of walk out of your way to go and get the thing. So maybe it's a hunt that I just don't have.
Let's get you to a physical, shall we?
I'm sorry. I think I twisted something.
Sid? What said you'd be coming?
I trust you don't mind. Also thought you might need some help. And it appears he was right.
You, could say that, yes. They're saying the Imperials ascended like a storm. No one was spared their fury. Martha tried to step in and calm things down, but all our efforts got her were a pair of iron shackles and a hard march.
Any idea where?
Judging by their tracks, they headed towards Sorrowwise Bay.
To the Abbey, sheltering Martha's bearers.
The bastards.
No, dude.
Jill and I will go after them. You take care of the people here.
We will. But, before you go, one of the locals heard something. He said the soldiers were talking about a culling. I don't know how big this is, but it doesn't sound good. Be careful out there, Sid.
You do the same.
I don't like this. They're here to cull the bearers that Martha's been fucking freeing. Oh my god. They're
Cole
literally...
is right. That was no tavern brawl. It was a message.
Oh my god.
But a culling. Bearers are the property of the Empire. The garrison wouldn't have the authority to act alone. The orders would have had to have come from higher up.
Huh. Wonder who did that. This is where Clive finds out. Okay. Okay, we have arrived. We have arrived.
Look. Up ahead.
Martha?
Martha, are you hurt?
Don't worry about me. It's them at the Abbey who need you. You have to do something.
Tell us what happened.
What happened? The damn black shields, that's what happened.
The what? Who's Cole? Second in command of the Curse Breakers who assist with the coordination of their troops. Oh, my bad. Bearer liberating activities under the supervision of his captain, Doris, right, Doris and Cole. Formerly a slave soldier for the First of the Republic before being freed and taken in by those he now calls his brothers and sisters in arms.
Black shields.
The bastards caught wind. The abbot and I were helping bearers. They were gonna hang us both. When the sick rose from their beds, poor souls turned on the Imperials. Distracted them long enough for me to get away.
Then, they may still be alive. Martha, do you think you can make it back to the inn? Cole is there with the other curse breakers.
Excuse me.
I think so. Thank you, Clive.
Black shields. Is this some sort of twisted joke?
Like the shield of Rosaria.
One order of shields in Rosaria, and they fought to defend all her citizens.
Oh.
Too far. Even.
Clive's gonna be pissed. Clive's already getting pissed. He is so pissed about the fucking... Oh, man, he does not fucking like that.
Are we too late?
There might still be someone inside.
Girls, stop. Be quiet. Ooh.
No.
Damn it.
I thought you lot were all spent.
Murderers. They drove the bearers to this.
Wait. These two aren't turned.
That bitch of an innkeeper must have sent them. Colluding with the enemies of the Empire is a serious offense.
And for their crimes shall they be punished. Such is the law. To dwell in darkness that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these our swords we swear.
How dare you speak those words?
Oh, boy.
Have you no honor?
Clive.
This won't take long.
Oh, cool.
Is that all of them?
I think so.
It's fun, stupid. The best kind of stupid. Yeah, I love it. Ignition is so fun.
I didn't see the abbot. He may still be alive.
That, I agree, Cammy. That would be cool. Can I go back in here? There might be loot. No, there's no loot.
Found her.
The abbot.
The bearers died protecting him. Calling upon what little magic they had left in their bodies.
Clive. He's breathing.
We're friends of Martha. We're here to help.
Are the Imperials dead?
They are. Every last one.
If only that were true. The Black Shields will return. The cuttings will continue.
Rosaria will never be saved unless we save her. Tell Mother to beg Sid's aid and tell her this wasn't her fault.
I shall.
Sid! Where are you? Sid!
In here! We found a survivor!
Clive. He's gone.
We've laid the abbot to rest. But the bearers... they didn't need to die like this.
No, they didn't. But it was their choice.
What, did we put
They
them all
knew
in
the
there?
fate that awaited them and chose.
What are we looking at that bag for? Did we, like, put them all in there? Did we, like, gather up all their dust and put them in a bag? Why are we looking at that bag like that?
To meet it on their terms. Fighting for those who fought for them.
Martha said they rose from their bed.
That's literally what we did? Oh, I was making a joke.
Threw themselves at the Imperials so she and the abbot could escape.
I've gathered the bearers' remains. We should
Yikes.
consign them to the tide.
There's a drawbridge not far from here. Radix jump. The currents there are swift. If the abbot was still with us, he'd have taken the dust there himself and performed the casting. I'll get someone to...
I'll do it.
Of course.
When I said I wanted to get that bag, this is not what
Cole
I
and
meant.
I will remain here and see to the Imperials.
Oh, an Ahriman. That's the first time I've seen one of those. Oh, it's a... Oh, it's like a hunt. It's a rank C. Notorious marks.
Do you think it's spotted us, Torgal? What am I saying? Of course it has. It's a floating eyeball.
That's not good. Whoa. I don't like this. Fucking me up.
Guess we're all ready.
Oh, I can't. Okay. Dude. Is this... Are you fucking serious right now? I actually just died to a fucking C rank hunt? Cool. C-rank hunt is harder than the first, like, 5 main story bosses. Would you guys stop triggering the auto mod? You also gain renown now, which will give rewards too.
Of thy burden, and bear it out to sea.
And now they are truly free.
Clive. Ah, you're supposed to dump them off the bridge!
What of the Imperials?
A Pyro.
You don't dump it right on the fucking... right on the shore! It's gonna wash up on the shore!
It's made. It's more than they deserve. God. We should go back. Cole is worried about Martha.
All right.
They now give you a round which unlock cool stuff. Allergic to bridges, I'm sure. Well, it's closed, I guess. Closed bridge. Right here is how you get to the Omphalos. If you guys didn't know, you just walk out into the water right between those 2 stones and you teleport right to the Omphalos. Anyway, let's go back to Martha's Rest. I like how the world is changing, you know? I like how we're revisiting areas that were once in better shape and they're more succumbing to the blight and it's darker and dreary. Like, I do like that the world is changing.
No one survived then?
No.
I'm sorry. Before he passed, one of them bade me tell you not to blame yourself.
Doesn't mean I won't. Doesn't mean their blood's not on my hands. Cole said you cast their remains. That was good of you. But it should have been me. This was all my fault.
How? You couldn't have known.
But I did.
Oh.
And I turned a deaf ear to the warnings like the fool I am. The rumors started moons ago. Of black-clad devils descending on villages in the dead of night to slit the throats of sleeping bearers.
Martha! You fucking idiot, Martha! You literally... Oh, you're such a fucking idiot!
But I assumed it was all just nonsense concocted by the Empire.
You thought it was your money freeing bearers. Why wouldn't you, of all people, take that threat seriously? That is so stupid.
Nothing but a ghost story meant to make folk think twice about lending a hand to a fugitive bearer.
And in ordinary times, you would have been right. What these Black Shields are doing.
In ordinary times? Has anything been ordinary for the last 18 fucking years?
Thinkable. Which begs the question, why do it at all? My mother obviously has a hand in this. I cannot make sense of her actions.
Sure you can, Clive. She's evil. There.
Unpicking what goes on in that woman's head is a job for someone with more time on their hands. Right now, I need swords and men to wield them, preferably big ones. If those Imperials think they can come in here again and threaten my people, they're in for a rude awakening.
Martha, they didn't come in and threaten them. They killed half of your village, you fucking idiot.
Oh, before I forget, a Stolas from Otto landed just before you arrived. He asked me to tell you that Gav has returned.
Then we must as well. Will you?
But I bet they won't do it again.
We can stay longer if you wish.
No need. I'll be ready should the Imperials come calling.
Kills half your village. Let that be a warning to you.
Send me a pair of them strapping young curse breakers.
Had to clip the Martha. Had to do it to him. You should. That is extremely naive of someone. I mean, come on, man. How naive are you? Martha!
Those poor souls died to give me a chance to save others. I won't let their sacrifice be in vain.
What in the world is going on?
Okay. What's this? Oh, this has a plus. Is this what I think it is?
You there! Don't just pass me by! You handy with that sword of yours?
No, I just carry it for looks.
Bet you're a bloody marvel with the thing.
I actually haven't swung it yet.
Now, question is, are you willing to use it or not? Because a flock of noble chocobos are in need of help.
Chocobos?
You heard me right. Wild birds? The big ones? And not just any chocobos at that. White
At the same time, I can understand her mindset. Without bearers, the lifestyles that basically everyone lives would be unsustainable. So it doesn't really make sense to just go around slaughtering them. And I get Clive's perspective from it as well. Oh, I can't make sense of my mother's actions. I'm sorry, but is it a stretch of the imagination to just think maybe your mom's a fucking bitch? Considering how she treated you, her literal royal son, because he didn't get the Phoenix? There's usually a bit of a blind spot for children against their parents. Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right. Yeah. But why? She was terrible.
Her flock are the bravest birds you ever did see. They protect travellers round these parts from bandits and the like.
Chocobos.
Does he know her hand in the whole Phoenix Gate thing even? No. I don't think at this point Clive knows that she was responsible for the assassination of his father and, you know, the whole Phoenix Gate scenario. He knows that as a consequence of his father dying, his mother is now part of the Empire, but he doesn't fully understand what she did.
Fighting bandits.
It's true. Why, they saved me from a gang of footpads only yesterday. Nasty lot they were too. And now they're back, looking to settle the score.
I mean, it's not like his mom had him thrown in irons and, like, you know, locked in a dungeon. You know, it's like So maybe sending, you know, black shields to slaughter bearers seems a little extreme even for Mom. Like, Mom was a bitch, okay? But, like, was she, you know, she didn't, like, you know, beat him into, like, you know, because he was not the Phoenix, you know what I mean? Like, she sold him to slavery. Yeah, after. Yeah, after. He didn't know that. Now, she just sold him into death sentence slavery. Guys, he doesn't know that. But he doesn't know that she did that. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that he still doesn't know. We see it and we're like, this fucking bitch. We know exactly what she did. But Clive doesn't know.
Don't just stand there.
He still doesn't know that? No. No, I don't know. No one really, like, knows the truth of what happened at Phoenix Gate. To be honest with you. Besides, like, Joshua. Well, and even Joshua. Wait, now I'm confused. How was Joshua there as the Phoenix, but also appeared as the robed man Margrace at the same time? What the fuck is going on?
All right.
There's a good lad.
Where can I find these chocobos?
I saw him cut across the way over yonder. The rotten scoundrels were driving the poor things towards the old dock.
Yeah, only the people that were directly a part of the plan would know.
Save Whiteheart and her.
Because remember, when she turned around, Annabella had her two handmaidens, or her two maidens, or whatever they were, literally just slain, just assassinated. They just slit their fucking throats as soon as they turned around. She left basically no open ends. So Annabella, unfortunately, did do a pretty good job to, like, no one really knew. And the widowed wife of the former king, has now become part of the Empire.
Rock, you hear me? There ain't a...
I believe what Clive saw in robes was a hallucination of himself, similar to the Phoenix Gate situation. Wait, we're talking about the Phoenix Gate situation. What are you talking about? The robed figure is Joshua. But what you're saying before is that the kind of... So Joshua is the true robed figure, but you think maybe the robed man that we saw was more of like an internalized, maybe even like Ifrit kind of calling out to Clive in a sense, kind of drawing him along, until he could, have that whole moment of self-reflection and when he fought, all the darkness. So you're saying essentially that like that man, that robed figure was the kind of projected representation of Clive.
And don't worry. You'll know her when you see her, right enough.
I'm sure I will.
And good luck to you. And give those no-good bastards a hiding from me.
The robed figure did speak in Ultima language. It did call us mythos, didn't it? It did. Pretty sure it did at the Phoenix Gate. It called us mythos. And if that's the case, I mean, that is what Ultima's calling us. And it did say, we found you. Or we have found you. So you could, I think you could interpret. I think you could interpret it that way. I think based on its dialogue, you could maybe interpret that robed figure was Ultima, but it's not stated. So, that's why it's still just kind of confusing.
I thought Ambrosia was one of a kind.
A white chocobo? Maybe it is Ambrosia.
Speaking of brave birds.
Wait, did Ambrosia die, or...
Looks like they went that way.
Didn't Ambrosia just get hit in the face and, like, lose an eye or something? I don't think Ambrosia died. And if Ambrosia is one of a kind, then we're about to find our chocobo! Bandits, dead bandits.
These chocobos aren't going down without a fight.
Yeah, it's because these aren't normal chocobos here, Clive. This is a very special chocobo.
We
got you cornered, Feathers. You didn't think you'd seen the last of us, did you?
Is it missing an eye?
You've been bad for business.
Chalk,
But I reckon someone will pay good coin to mount your head on their wall.
Not around here, they won't.
Oh.
Because she's something of a hero in these parts. You hurt her, and I hurt you.
Piss off.
Piss off.
Still, how about we hurt you both?
All right,
Piss off.
But don't say I didn't warn you.
Fuck you, mate. Fuck you.
Please, sir, may I have some more? Please, sir, may I have some more?
To me.
New enemies? What? Of course. Whoops. Okay, that's fine. the sounds that some of the enemies make is hilarious. Oh! You wanna fucking fight, mate? You fucking what, mate? You wanna fucking tussle there, mate? You wanna get your shit rocked?
Awaken, wind!
Get fucking shit on, you motherfucker. Nice. Take some extra. A steel silk and a gill bug. Oh my god. Crazy.
You're safe now. White Heart, I presume.
That's the one.
Do you know her, boy?
She remembers!
That scar. It couldn't be.
Of course it is. It's our Seto.
It is you. You survived. And you found yourself a flock.
Oi! Is it over? I thought I'd come and see how you were getting on. Oh, you sorted the bastards then. I knew you would. And the whole flock made it through unscathed.
Thankfully, they did. And not only that.
They do live a long time. Torgal and yeah, Torgal's old. Torgal's like a fucking 120 in dog years, bro. crazy.
Well, I'll be. I never stopped to think our hero here might once have been someone's mount. Though I dare say she'd suit a fine fellow like yourself. Reckon our feathered friend must have learned a thing or two from her master. Kind-hearted warrior that you are.
20-year-old dog.
Bird like her would have cost a princely sum. You born a lord or something?
Well,
Oh, no, sorry. I didn't mean to pry. Don't matter who you are. You done right by me.
This guy's asking too many questions. He must die.
She wants her master back, I reckon. Told you. And it seems her pals agree.
Is that it?
Do I finally get my mount?
Well, bugger me if this ain't a heartwarming sight. The lads down the stables will be hearing about this tonight. Oh, stay right where you are.
You getting me a saddle? Did he haul a saddle all the way back out here? There's no way. He's got a whole saddle and halter and everything. Yep. That thing probably just weighs like 60 pounds. Just carry that all the way out here. Ah, they gave her an eye patch. Sick. Yo, that's how you know Ambrosia's fucking sick. She gets an eye patch and Gav doesn't.
She does indeed. How much do I owe you?
A few scraps. That is the very least I owe old Whiteheart. Oh, I'll be sad to see her go, of course. But she's earned her right to happiness and more besides.
Not just one, but 3
We'll
saddles.
get along just fine without her. You hear that, Whiteheart? You've earned yourself some time off. You have fun traveling with your master now.
My Ambrosia.
You seem awful familiar now I get a proper look at you. That's it. When those chocobos swarmed my cart on the road, didn't you? No, that can't be right. That fellow was a bearer.
Must have been my double.
Must have been, eh? Oh, that'll be the excitement getting to me.
This is
Sod that I
this
am.
man scammed you. He was a total asshole.
Be on my way. Good luck to the both of you.
Seems like maybe a little nicer now, or maybe he's just that fucking rude to bearers.
You take care of your flock for now.
Also, apparently the bearer symbol-shaped scar on the cheek does not give away the fact that I used to be a branded, apparently.
You.
Just a birthmark, mate. Ambrosia's tack. Displayed in Clive's chambers. A bespoke saddle and blinders worn by Clive's childhood chocobo. Ambrosia. Chocobo unlocked. Let's go. Hold R3 while in the field to summon Ambrosia. And X to mount the chocobo.
Good girl.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, look at the footprints you leave in the ground, in the soft ground when you walk.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Gav should be back by now.
I hear there's trouble.
Clive! Oh, I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel.
Now sit down, you fool.
Whoa.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's head?
Not really.
And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first?
No. I don't remember that.
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
While the two nations beat their shields, the rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the mother crystals. Four mother crystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dhalmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rosfield.
Lord Byron Rosfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities.
The one that, of course, Annabella wouldn't have assassinated or taken care of, because that wouldn't put a fucking stick right in her plans.
Wait. Rosfield.
Wait, you mean the Byron Rosfield? You mean like the Byron Rosfield? The one I've heard so much about?
And you're a Rosfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune. Along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
Auto's counter is now open. Alliant reports the Patron's Whisper, the hunt board.
What are we waiting for, indeed?
Oh. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
You think it's all right to touch him?
It is, Faye. It fucking honestly is, dude. I hope Byron's a cool character. It'd have been cool to like maybe have him around in the start of the game and like maybe have him express a little bit of distaste for his brother's wife, Annabella, and maybe like kind of show a little soft side between him and Clive and like maybe draw a little bit of a relationship. Maybe he goes back to the port where he's stationed and he doesn't know about the things that transpire. Like, are you saying that's a cheap plot device? Yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm really not liking this. I'm sorry. It's rough. It's rough, dude. I always say, you know, I never judge the whole of a narrative without finishing the story. So, you know, I'm gonna keep playing, keep giving it a chance. Because I feel like you need to see a story to its conclusion to whether to decide if you like it or not. Then again, I felt really irritated when they first introduced Vivian and gave us exposition for the Crystal Dominion. So, you know, it's just hard not to judge the bits that stand out as poor while they're happening. Yeah. No, it's little things, man. Like right now, like it's just little things. And I'm beginning to nitpick a lot of things about this game. And I'm trying hard not to vocalize everything, but like there's just weird changes. Like how we went from a really nice, easy to understand hideaway layout to this. Why? No, this is a good, let me put it this way. Is this game good? Yes. I do value your guys' opinions on it, and the fact that you guys don't agree with some of the things that I think are really fucking annoying shows me, you know, if a majority of people that I'm interacting with are not agreeing with it, then it makes me wonder, okay, am I being a little too harsh on it in that regard? Makes you think, you know, Final Fantasy XIV tells a grand narrative over the course of 5 or 6 expansions, right? This is one game in one, you know, disc, one development, you know, thing. Whereas Final Fantasy has the capacity for a different level of narrative continuity. And they have taken advantage of their structure, that being the MMO structure, in a way that other MMOs have not done properly. That's part of why the Final Fantasy XIV narrative experience feels so amazing, is because they have done narratively what every other MMO, frankly, has kind of failed to do. And that's tell a story with continuity that gets you invested and is emotional and has meaning over the course of multiple expansions. And what happens in Stormblood is relevant in Endwalker. What happens in Heavensward is relevant in Shadowbringers and beyond. You know what I'm saying? It all connects together. And that's why I think we're a little bit spoiled, frankly, when it comes to the narrative style of Final Fantasy XIV, because even the bad moments of FF14, of which there are some, don't get me wrong, those are still better than some of the best moments from other games. And being able to say that is like kind of shocking. To have that feel even remotely true, to make a remark that bold is like, that's crazy. It's what I wanted from World of Warcraft, and frankly, what they failed to do that drove me to come and experience the world that was Eorzea, and that was Hydaelyn, because basically you guys and other people sold me on the narrative aspect, and when I started interacting with those characters, and I met Urianger, and I met Y'shtola, and I met the twins, I just fucking literally could not, even if I wanted to, I couldn't have escaped it. But to come back to 16, it's just a completely different setting. You know, it's an action game. The things, and people are making good points in regards to like the things that they choose to invest their money into, you know, that is relevant. You know, the combat, the fluidity, the voice acting, the visuals of the game, you know, maybe those are all things that look, you know, even a little bit better because, you know, they decided not to do cutscenes for Oriflamme coming to the Crystal Dominion, okay? Fair enough, I guess. It's still kind of lame. You know, it just still kind of is lame to hear about events that sound really cool. Even if there was no war, seeing a legion of, you know, golden knights on the horizon, or silver knights, I guess they would be, you know, on the horizon marching on your city, that would, it just, even just for like a 30-second cinematic, it doesn't have to be crazy. I would just love to see something like that, and I just wish that it was there. Does that missing make the game bad? Hell no. Hell no. The game is still very good. And for the better part of, what has it been? 5 streams now? It is 90% like enjoyment. The side quests have been good and have had deep, dark impacts, especially the more recent side quests. The voice acting, like I said, is incredible from almost every single character, especially the main cast of characters. The combat is some of the most fun combat of any game that I have ever played. Seriously. I'm not a big like hack and slash or like combo game kind of guy. Like I've never played DMC or those kinds of games. So maybe if I had played those, my opinion would be different. I know that this game is developed by the same primary combat designer of DMC. So I understand. And it's really fun. The music is an obvious given. We have been blessed and graced by our prodigious and prime Lord Soken. God Soken. God King Soken. Soken-san is, yeah, that guy is, let's just say that any game, regardless of the genre, the guy's proven he can do goddamn near anything. And when he's got a partner like Koji at his side for things, or better yet, other legends in the FF music space like Umatsu, you know, there's been some pretty amazing things. Desiree.
Oh, Clive, welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
The Patron's Whisper? Does that mean someone else is taking care of our friend's donations?
Oh no, that's still me. It's just Karen has her toll, Blackthorn has his hammer. I thought a new name might liven things up. I still catalogue every item that arrives, in addition to setting aside those tokens of appreciation the sender has specified are to be presented to you personally. Would you like to see if we have any? Is everything we've received and everything promised?
Oh, right. This is just completing side... Okay, this is where I spend renown. Oh, at the Patron's Whisper. Inspiring nameless benefactors from across the Twins to donate money or items to Clive's cause. Visit Desiree at the... Patron's Whisper in the Hideaway's Mess to view current renown level and accept any donations available. You know what will start to happen more as like bearers... Like as things get worse, and then hopefully as they get better, is like more people that are like kind of closeted supporters of the bearers and stuff will be able to come out and like and speak more against it, you know? Like once that landslide starts to occur, hopefully there will be more people, you know, that have wanted to do something but didn't have the means to do anything. That, you know, we'll see what happens. But that was just something that kind of crossed my mind with this renown system. Talk of the tea house. Your merry band of outlaws and its dashing deeds of daring do are all the talk amongst the ladies of the court. We have gathered together several items of worth that you might continue your gallantry. Bloody hide a bit. Ooh, 400 ability points. Let's go. Give me that shit.
You earned this.
Heartstruck Dowager. Our order is one built on pride, but that does not mean we are too proud to give thanks where thanks is due. We may have failed Martha once, but never again. The Blood Axes. Would you consider playing FF11 for the story, not the grindy endgame part? Potentially. Maybe for the story. I would consider that. Honestly. I would consider, you know, dabbly doing an FF. I just, you know, yeah.
All done?
I'd have to get, you know, yeah. Okay, let's look at this hunt board. 20 bloody hides? Ladies, you shouldn't have.
It's where the curse breakers post sightings of particularly fearsome beasts. Those that might pose a threat to our operations if they were left to roam free. Just because they can't be dealt with when they're spotted, doesn't mean they can't be dealt with later. Was that what you wanted to know?
That's not how this is gonna work. Of course not, Kupo. I knew that already. And that's why I need your help. As I need not remind you, Kupo, I'm the mightiest of all the Moogles. No fiend of the forest or ghoul. Dude, fucking blow me. So I need you to slay them all, Kupo.
Right. Well, leaving your mightiness aside for the moment, the people of Alastia are going through a lot already. What with the Blight and the war. The last thing they need is ungodly fiends terrorizing them on top of everything else. So if the Cursebreakers are too busy to help, then perhaps I can. Or at least I can try.
Fuck yeah, I will. Oh, thank you, Kupo. It's so good to have found someone who understands me, Kupo. Dude, this thing is so insanely well animated. Like, the reflection and the texture on its palm blows my mind. I can just stare at it all day. I love Moogles. They're like one of the best creatures in all of Final Fantasy. The Hunt Board. Reports of fiends terrorizing the countryside are posted to the Hunt Board in hopes that fearless heroes, such as Clive, will will take it upon themselves to hunt down and slay the notorious marks. The fact that they put that in there, that's funny. Such as Clive. That's funny. A member of the Blood Axis station at Martha's Rest reported that he had been set upon by the marshes by an unworldly horror. Oh hey, that's the thing I killed. The Angel of Death? A traitor coming by way of Caer Norvant met with a troop of Cursebreakers traveling in the opposite direction and warned them of a wicked winged harpy on the road ahead. His eyes wild and flickering. Though the Cursebreakers saw nothing untoward on their own journey through their past, the sound of cackling laughter from the trees ensured that they kept a brisk pace. It's a rank C. Belphegor. Reports have been, and this is a rank B right here. Okay. B rank. Reports have been received of a wild avis of striking size making its nest atop the hill adjacent to Eastpool. Though all efforts are being made not to rouse the beast's ire, it is surely but a matter of time before it needs to feed. I hereby petition any brave volunteers to march to the northern border, that we might cut the fiend down before it makes trenchers of the nearby villages. Okay. Journey to Hawk's Cry. I always do that.